Okay, you guys. 2.8. This first part of 2.8 has to deal with kind of a review of what's going on, but we're still talking about factoring and understanding that factoring is the opposite of multiplying. So we're taking a long thing and writing it as a product. But this first part says work with a partner, write the product represented by the algebra tiles, then multiply to write the polynomial in standard form. I'm okay for this part. I just want you to understand and be able to translate from the tiles to an equation. So this first one, A, you have an x plus 1, and then you have an x plus 1, and then you have 2 times negative 2. Okay, and you would do a box with the first two, and then you would distribute a negative 2 through. But when you have three things, you have to do you have to multiply the first two, get an answer, and then you multiply it by the third one. Okay, but the next one, then we have x plus 2 times x plus 1 times negative x. Okay, go through those, finish those, understand the bars are x's. Okay, and then the little squares are just plus the number. So source we have x plus 3 times x times 2. D, we have x plus 1, x minus 1 times x. Next one we have negative x plus 1 times x plus 1 times negative x. And then this last one, okay, we have negative x minus 1, x plus 1 times negative 2. Okay, just want you to be able to translate that to understand what those tiles represent. But the next one says matching standard and factored form. Work with the partner. Match the standard form of the polynomial with the equivalent factored form. So this side is the standard form. Because if we remember, standard form means big exponent to small exponent. So x to the fourth, x cubed, x squared, that long sentence. And then factored form is our product. Meaning we've got multiplication going on instead of this long sentence of this plus this, okay? So first step in factoring is to take a GCF out. So this one would be, I could take an x squared out, and I have x plus 1. So I'm looking x squared, and then I have an x plus 1. That would be, I'm looking, J. So I'm going to put a little a right there. Okay, B, I take an x out. I have an x, and then I have x squared minus 1. And the x squared minus 1, you do a box, and it factors. Because you would rewrite this, the x squared minus 1, as x squared plus 0x minus 1, and make your box that way. But it ends up factoring to x plus 1, x minus 1. Okay, so I'm looking for the x plus 1, x minus 1, which is this a right here. So this is little b. Okay, and go through this whole thing. And you start factoring all of these, and you're going to recognize patterns, and you're going to do these things. Pause the video, take the next little bit, see how many you can do, get through all of them. Remember that you need to take a GCF out at the beginning, and if there's no middle term, put a 0x in there to get your middle term. And then resume the video, and I will just write down the answers for you. Okay? Okay, the next one, it's going to be x times x minus 2, no, x plus 2, x minus 1. So this one's C. D is x times x minus 2 squared. So this one's D. And recognize that that's x minus 2, x minus 2. We just write it as x minus 2 squared because it's twice. E is going to be x and then x minus 3, x plus 1. That's the little e. F is going to be x times x minus 1 squared. EF. G is going to be x squared times x minus 4. Oh, wait, just kidding. Let me see. Oh, no. Sorry. G is going to be x and then x plus 2, x minus 2. G. H is going to be x squared times x plus 2. X squared times x plus 2. H. I is going to be x squared times x minus 1. J is going to be x times x minus 2, x minus 1. So there's J. K is x plus 3, x minus 1. K. And then L. This takes a lot more work. Obviously, the more you do, you can get to where I'm at and do them in your head. But if you have questions on why they factor the way they do, come talk to me, okay? Pause the video, take a second, and come talk to me. But L has an x, and then it's x minus 3, x minus 1. JKLM is x squared times x minus 2. N is x and then x plus 2 squared. And then O is x times x plus 1 squared. Okay, there's all of those. How can you factor a polynomial completely? We made that list last time. Honestly, the biggest thing I would say is you do the GCF, okay, and then make sure, okay, you try to get rid of any x squareds. If it has an x squared in it, you could probably factor it, okay? So, number 4, x like this one. First, A, x cubed, 4x squared, 3x. If I take out an x, I have x squared plus 4x plus 3. And then I box this one. I say, okay, what multiplies to a times c, which is 1 times 3. So what multiplies to 3 and adds to 4. Well, if I make my chart, the only thing is 1 and 3. So if I make my box, x squared, 3, 1x, 3x, I take stuff out. It factors into x plus 3, x plus 1. And then I check my answers and make sure that 1, none of my sets of parentheses have GCFs in them. And 2, none of them have x squareds in them. Okay, same goes for B. If I do the same thing for B, I take out an x. And I've got x squared minus 6x plus 9. I go, okay, what multiplies to 1 times 9, or 9, and adds to negative 6? Well, I've got 1 and 9, and 3 and 3. And to get negative 6, they both are going to be negative. So I make my box, x squared, negative 3x, 9, and I get x, negative 3, x, negative 3. So this one factors into the x minus 3, x minus 3, or the better answer is x times x minus 3 squared. Okay, that's the answer for that one. I check and I make sure inside I don't have any GCFs and I don't have any squareds. Okay, and then the last one, the same process, just if you need to see it one more time. I have x cubed plus 6x squared plus 9x. I take an x out because they all have at least one x. And when I do that, I just have x squared plus 6x plus 9. And I go, okay. And you can even go back. I've got in the bad habit, but A equals 1, B equals 6, C equals 9. And I go, okay, it multiplies A times C is 1 times 9, and B is 6. So it multiplies to 9 and adds to 6. So I make my box, x squared, 9, my charts for 9, 1 times 9, and 3 times 3. So I get 3x and 3x because that gets me 6. X and a positive 3, x and a positive 3. I have the x I took out at the beginning, x plus 3 times x plus 3, or better answer, x times x plus 3 squared. Okay, just a review of factoring, just understanding that you know how to do a lot more factoring than you give yourself credit for. Remember GCF, A, B, and C. Make your box, find out what multiplies to A times C and adds to B, and then take out your GCFs from the rows and the columns. Okay, you got this.